Good to see you, man. So for context, I'm a creative entrepreneur, and a lot of what I do on YouTube is I try to help people not be starving artists. I try to walk them through what I did that worked, what I did that didn't, why it sucks sometimes. And my question to you right now is for all of those people. It's, what do you see being the disproportionate vulnerability for creatives and creative entrepreneurs? Because right now I know you're doing your Vayner Creative Initiative.
Yep.
You're somebody who's in the hiring chair.
Yep.
So for all the creatives out there, for all the people, whether they're at YouTube or Snapchat or whether they're drawing, what do you think right now
is the big vulnerability?
What are they underestimating?
That they're not good at business.
That pretty much sums it up. But beyond...
I mean, the biggest vulnerability, Roberto, is that some people are such extreme just artists that they don't have the humility in the face of entrepreneurship being cool to team up and have a partner who can drive the actual business.
So ultimately your answer is they need to either, one, invest some time in getting good at this if they have the potential that they never tapped, or outsource it because it's a weakness.
You know me well, we've known each other a long time. I only think that I can get only incrementally better at swimming and singing and painting.
Right.
Entrepreneurship is so cool right now and such a pedestal and has no cost of entry. Every person here can put the word entrepreneur in their Instagram profile. I'm aware. And there's just a fundamental difference between a successful entrepreneur and somebody who says they are. And there's a lot of people here that are unbelievable creatives who will lose because they're spending disproportionate time trying to be good at something that will never happen instead of putting 100% of their effort in the creative process. The fact that we're blending, listen, there's people like Sean Doris who is absolutely, and the reason I attached to him and always gave him mentorship, I'm like, cool, this guy's creative and an entrepreneur. But there's a lot of people in here who want to be an entrepreneur, and there's a lot of entrepreneurs in here that want to be a creator, and that is the vulnerability, the lack of self-awareness, and the utter delusion in what they want instead of what is real.
Boom. Thanks, Gary.
Great to see you.
Hi, Gary.
Hi.
I'm Sarah Beth from Sarah Beth Yoga, and I used to be all about that hustle. I used to work 80-hour weeks and happily would work 80-hour weeks.
Good.
So I guess my issue now is that, so I have a kid and I have another on the way, and so I'm much more focused on my time management. And
you should.
Earlier you mentioned, when you say you don't have time, I don't really have the time anymore.
I get it.
So I was purposeful about staying on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram.
I get it.
But I hear you about expanding my brand and reaching out to other platforms. How?
Look, I think I'm very empathetic. Look, even if you're the greatest hustler that ever lived, I don't know if you've heard, it's still only 24 hours in a day, right? So here's what I would say, Sarah. I would say that there's nothing wrong with staying deep on Facebook and Google platforms. Facebook and Google rule the digital world. And there's nothing even remotely close that's happening that is gonna change that narrative for the next 24 to 48 months intuitively, right? So I'm, in a world where you have your second coming and all those things that are going on in your life, I'm not so desperate for you to have to do other things right now, knowing that Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube are going nowhere fast, right?
Right.
I think when I say to a lot of people in this room, find more time, it's as long as your ambition is in check to your actions, you're good, right? You wanna be the best mom you can be, you wanna be a creator, you wanna be an entrepreneur, that's awesome. The biggest rub that I have is you have a lot of people saying that they're gonna build billion-dollar empires and they're working 9 hours a day, and that's not gonna map, right? So it's not that I want you to spend more time, as long as you're like, hey, I wanna make, my ambition is to make, it's hard if you're gonna mother and not outsource that to a full-time nanny, to have the time and energy to build a $100 million media company around yourself. It's gonna be hard. As long as you're cool and understand hey, maybe that's $1 million instead of 100 million because rightfully you're choosing to allocate raising your wonderful children, then you're good. It's the delusion that I'm worried about. It's that people's mouths are way ahead of their actions. Got it?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Gary.
Hey, bro.
How's your day been?
Doing really good, CJ. How are you?
Good. Okay, so I just turned 13, and I was wondering, I've been doing YouTube for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And the first year, I didn't really get anything done.
I get it.
Up until this
Get
summer.
anything done as it didn't get traction, or you were bullshitting playing video games?
Second, both of them.
Both.
So, but then this summer,
This
I started
summer?
to get more like, I quit video games and I got a better view time and attraction.
Yep.
But I'm still like, I'm at 142 right now, so I'm wondering like, what's one tip you have for kids my age?
142 meaning what?
142 subs.
Got it. So what do you want to happen, CJ?
I just want to get at least 300 by the end of the year.
Okay, well, first of all, we'll take care of that. Right? So like, now what?
Just to inspire people.
Good. So if you want to inspire people, if that's real, right? If that's really what you're about, then you don't need to do anything but continue to put out the content that you think will do that.
Thank you.
I think the reason I said like we'll take care of that is what I don't want you to do that so many people do, whether they're 13 or 81. So many people get into the rat race of how many followers they have, right? And like that's just not the game that you want to play. Do you know what I mean? Because the reality is that that's going to dictate too many actions. You can't let your self-esteem or self-worth be wrapped up into metrics on YouTube because it's one tiny proxy in the reality of what you're up to. You understand?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, we're gonna throw a right hook right now. What's the name of your channel, CJ?
CJ Bowling.
Spell it.
CJBOLING.
Slower, because you want them to actually fucking follow you. CJ
BOLING.
BOLING. It would really mean a whole lot to me if I've given you 1 inch of value ever in my life for you to follow this kid. Let's see how many followers he has on YouTube by the end of this weekend.
Can I get a picture?
Yeah, get in here, Siege. Come here. Good luck, brother. You're welcome. Hey, I've only got a couple more minutes, just trying to be fair to the people in line. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get to you, but we'll see how long they let me sit up here. Go ahead, my man.
Hi, Gary.
Hey, Doug.
I'm one of the 99 or 100% of the people that, before today, my wife has been beating me up to listen to you just once.
Yes.
I kept
Fighting it.
Yes, I kept
You're
fighting.
like, fuck that guy.
I was.
I get it. I get it. I know how you rolled
And
in.
she tells me that I think she's rude to me. I should wait until I meet you. That you're gonna beat it up with me. I want to ask you. I finally jump into what she's doing. I want to know what I need to do to stay on focus, on track, and stay motivated.
To me,
every day.
Generally,
Yes, she blogs about food. She developed food recipes
Yep.
and everything, and she's.
but
got
you're
to-
asking for you, how you stay focused?
Yes.
Look, I think, listen, some of you have heard this from me. This is such a big one for me. I've said it in a funny setting, and I've said it other times. I just really wish people knew that they were gonna die. Devin, like, how can you not stay motivated? Do you know that the odds of becoming a human being are 400 trillion to 1?
No.
Well, great. Sit on that shit for a minute. Like, we are so unbelievably lacking perspective and are so not grateful for what's happening here. We so focus on negativity and shit that's bothering us. We need to spend way more time on optimism and good and all the good things that are happening. That will motivate. I am completely driven by gratitude. Every true day that I don't get a text or phone call that somebody I love died or has terminal illness, I'm fucking pumped. So it's perspective, Deb. Like, the fuck do you have to complain about?
No, I don't complain. I want to make sure I'm moving from the industry that I was in
Yep.
into what she's doing because she has become very successful.
It's regret, man. Like, you don't want to be 80 sitting and saying, fuck, I spoke to Gary, my wife did it, this happened, and I didn't do shit. What the fuck? Listen, I'm going to give you guys a huge, huge, unbelievable hack. One day, 1 hour, go and volunteer in a nursing home. It is the great move that everybody here can do. First of all, it's just nice to do that. And you give back, and it's tremendous, and it's unbelievably impactful. Number two, thank you. Number two, you will get way more because you're gonna see something that you haven't seen in such a pure state. It's called regret. You will face regret in a way that will fuck with you so hard that you will stay focused and on track for the rest of your fucking life. The number one thing that you will taste if you go to a nursing home is you will find multiple people that will talk to you about regrets in a way that will pierce your soul in a way that you've never felt before, because they're actually in that place where time has run out. And it will make you go back home and start cooking for the first time, starting a video, running. Like, you'll start doing shit that you've been pondering for the last decade after 1 hour of giving back, putting karma points in the bag, and it will be hugely beneficial for you. So please, please, please consider that.
Thank you so very
You're
much.
welcome.